Hi everyone, welcome to my home office. So I'm going to show you how I use the blog post planner. Anytime that I am working at my desk, or even if I take my laptop and go down to the dining room table, there's a couple things which go with me. And they're always within arm's reach. The first one is Post-it notes. I always have Post-it notes within arm's reach. I use these for a lot of different things, which I will show you one of those in a minute. The other thing that I have a number of is binders. I have a ton of binders within arm's reach. I have binders for a lot of different things. The first, I have binders for the social media that I work with. I have binders for each of the businesses for which I'm responsible for any of the web-based stuff has its own binder. Some of them have more than one binder. And I keep a lot of things that I'm working on in those binders. So if I'm working on the Faithful Bloggers information, I take out the binder related to that and I have it with me. So if I'm sitting here and I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing at my desk, whether I'm paying bills or whether I'm working on, the Faithful Bloggers website, tweaking some different things in the website, or whether I'm working on a blog post or anything else, if I have a random thought, for example, I'm working on the website, so I think, how to add a form to a website would be a really good blog post. Or I think, how to write good headlines, that might be a good blog post. So all of those little bits of random thoughts that I think could make a potential blog post, I immediately jot those onto a Post-it note and they go back here onto this board behind me. I have a number of these boards. I have one for Faithful Bloggers. I have one for my other online business. I have one for our brick and mortar business. I'm very visual, so I like to see these things. Some of you may be able to, jot those into a piece of paper, into a binder, but this is what works for me. So as soon as I have a second random thought on any of those, then it's time to take out a blog post planner. So now the blog post planner, this is what it looks like, and it's available for download in this blog post, and it's got an awful lot of information on it for you. For example, if you're on a website and you think, this would be a really good website to add as a link into the blog post that I'm thinking about, there's a place in here for you to put that. So if you have a thought about, a good image that would go, there's a place for you to jot down a note about the image or the video that would go on there. So now a blog post planner, if you go to sit at your desk to write a blog post planner isn't going to be a lot more help than a blank piece of paper is if you just take it out and you sit down to write. So I use it as a place to corral all those thoughts, all those things that I would forget if I sat down with a blank piece of paper or a blank blog post planner when I needed to write a blog post. I wouldn't be able to think of all those thoughts. They'd be gone from my brain. I think of those things like when I'm out and about and, when I'm sitting at my desk doing other things. So that's kind of how I use this as a place to corral all those thoughts. I often end up filling the backside of this paper with bullet points. So when I go to sit and write a blog post, I don't have to think of a lot of different things because it's all on here by then. I've thought of a bunch of different things. So I have a section in my binder called blog posts, and I have a number of these blog post planners in there, and they're just potential blog posts, and I just keep adding thoughts to them as I have them. So for example, I recently published a post on why we moved to the website from WordPress to Squarespace. So this is the notes that I had written prior to writing that blog post. So I actually could throw this out now because this blog post is already published, but I didn't have to do a lot of research or thinking when it came down to that. I could just write. I had to tweak things after I got it written and, make it so it flows. But as far as those thoughts that you often lose when it's time to write a blog post, at least for me, they're all there. You've had a place to corral them. So that's pretty much how I use the blog post planner. One other thought, those thoughts that you have when you're out and about. I do use the notepad in my smartphone for those thoughts, and then when I get home, I'll transfer those to this, or to to the board, or to my blog post planner when I get home, because we do have those thoughts when we're out and about. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I can respond. Enjoy.